Hey everyone, the Dark Knaik is here. Nothing extraordinary to explain what Elvis is about. It is the life story of the king of rock and roll, Elvis Presley. Elvis is a fictional narration of Elvis manager Colonel Parker, and Austin Butler plays Elvis, and legendary actor Tom Hanks plays Colonel Parker. Baz Luhrmann returns to the director chair after 9 years to direct one of the most difficult projects uh, to execute for when it comes to biopic. Why do I call the project difficult? Because such an iconic figure or some interesting personalities of the 20th century, for example, Elvis Presley, Charlie Chaplin, Pablo Picasso, Albert Einstein, Martin Luther King Jr., Michael Jackson, they cannot be described in one film. A lot of events occurred in their life, in their professional lives. They deserve a TV series or a limited series because we need some broad detailings about these legends. Their story cannot be justified in a screen time of say 180 minutes or 200 max if you want to stretch. It's not possible. There cannot be a story to describe them at all. And this is why Elvis doesn't impress me as some quality biodrama. Let me highlight a few points that disturb the edge. Number one, Roadrunner screenplay. From the start, this film is competing a 100-meter sprint race. Result, no development of any particular chronicle due to lack of breathing. The film suffocates between Elvis' childhood and fame. Number two, performances, 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 and performances. One after the other. Elvis keeps performing and performing and performing. Baz Luhrmann gives less concern to some sensitive contents that deserves intense dramatizing. Elvis, Elvis' mother, she is so important that she can constitute half of the film. She is that important, but due to the limited screen time, her role is extremely short. Plus, so many scenes have been rejected, fully ignored. Elvis' army life, his passion for karate, two personal relationships. They only focused on his relationship with Priscilla, but they didn't mention about Linda Thompson, and there was another lady, Ginger Alden, fully ignored. Three, Perplexed aesthetics. It's a confused script where the derivation and enthusiasm of the audience override. First, Colonel Parker narrates the story, speaking to the fourth wall, and he is trying to convince to the audience why he should not be blamed, how does he think that he's not the culprit. But in the second half, Colonel Parker is clearly at fault, and there is no audible commentary to reason any further. And Elvis is dramatized, the film is dramatized in a way that he was innocent of Colonel's deception. So, the motive of narration and the principal method of addressing the whole film in a particular way fails again. And four, historical inaccuracies. Too much liberty has been taken in this Elvis film. Neither Colonel ever met Elvis in the carnival, nor he convinced him at some mirror maze. Colonel was not even in the show where the female spectators couldn't hold themselves, listening and watching Elvis for the first time. There was no meeting at the Hollywood sign. And his famous number, "That's All Right," is not accurately depicted. Elvis' film deceives the audience by trying to frame the screenplay as the true story of the music legend. Elvis doesn't profusely suffer from the lies and all the minuses that I have mentioned before. There are some pluses, and those pluses must be mentioned and praised. At the start, young Elvis goes to gospel church and reinvents himself. That entire sequence makes the case where his passion for different music genres and those silly dance moves comes from. Then the first live performance was directed really well. Even if that live performance is not inspired from any true event, I believe that the shot was a necessary liberty to describe the first shock waves of listening and watching to Elvis Presley. Colonel's description about Elvis in that particular scene: a taste of forbidden fruit. That's the most perfect one-liner I have listened and watched about a music legend in any film. A taste of forbidden fruit. Jesus. Tom Hanks as Colonel Parker will eat the sympathetic Elvis loyalists, as the cruelty he imposed on his troubling life is painful to cause heartbreak. Especially that scene when Elvis collapses on the ground and Colonel Parker orders to make him ready for the show. Tom Hanks displays a performance that sparks hatred and annoyance, which was necessary because these were the elements of Colonel Parker, and this legendary actor nailed that. And the biggest plus and the biggest delight of the film: Austin Butler as Elvis Presley. Thank God Harry Styles was not finalized. Thank God Harry Styles was not finalized. No actor in his shoes can give his utmost effort from the physical point of view. A kind of performance that Austin Butler has given, that was the perfect choice to play Elvis Presley. This guy actually sang those songs in the film. No singer playbacked him. And then the dance moves. Some of Elvis Presley's memorable performances, he portrayed so accurately. The emotional fluctuations, those breakdowns, especially when his mother dies, and also when he starts taking drugs. Phenomenal performance. I just wonder if Baz Luhrmann had not picked Austin Butler for this role, if he had made a mistake in picking his Elvis, this film would have met the disaster. Disaster. It's a huge responsibility to make a film on Elvis Presley. This is an Oscar-worthy performance. A huge burden of the film and the legacy of Elvis well carried. Elvis rejects being an authentic biographer and chooses to captivate and attract the young audience about how Elvis and his music defined the era. Elvis focused on what took the king to become the greatest music entertainer until the arrival of Michael Jackson. this whole film is depicted from the Colonel's angle. I wish that this film would have been so good if the film was depicted from Elvis Presley's angle. I'm Samir Naik.